Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a member of the Triple R team here at the Ecovillage, and I'd like to show you my waste management system I have at home. I recently remodeled my bin system because it just wasn't working. So let's have a look at what I've got in place. The first bin is the yellow council bulk bin for commingled recycling, and in that goes clean cardboard and paper, steel cans, rigid plastics numbered 1 through 6, Tetra Paks and glass bottles and jars that don't have the 10-cent logo on it. The next one is for the red Scouts bin, and that takes all 10-cent containers, and you look for the little logo on the side of the container. I've then got landfill and then soft plastics. And the last bin is for compostables, and I keep this small container inside while I'm preparing food, and then at night I just pop it out here, and that keeps the ants and the bugs and things away. The other thing I find really handy is this peg contraption, which allows me to dry all the soft plastics that I wash out before I put them in the bin for recycling. Because they've got a big problem with mould in the recycling facility for soft plastics. So it's best to empty things out, give it a quick wash and hang it out. I just leave it for a few days and then put it in the bin. If we have a look at my unusually clean kitchen, this is what my waste system used to look like. I had 2 large bins under the sink that were really too large. It meant that by the time they were full, they were getting smelly and insect ridden. So having a smaller compost bin that I empty more frequently really helps. The other problem with these was I couldn't label them effectively, so the arch enemy of recycling, i.e. teenagers, wouldn't be able to follow the labels that were on here. Let's look at some of the things that people get confused about recycling. For example, a biscuit packaging. So you've got the outside box, which goes in the yellow bulk bin. You've got the tray, which goes in the yellow bulk bin as well. And then you've got the soft plastics from the inside, and that goes in the soft plastics container. So you can see why it's important to have separate bins at the point of disposal, because then you can just go splat, 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 and it's much easier than trying to sort it out later on, and you're only handling things once. Meat packaging is also another area of confusion. Vegetarians, you might want to turn away. So you've got the PET plastic tray, which is not scrunchable, well, sort of is, but it's not really. So that goes in the yellow bin. Often you've got that fine plastic lidding on the top that gets pulled off and put in soft plastics. If you've got something like this, which is the black polystyrene, if you can tear it, it's polystyrene, that has to go in landfill because the detectors at the recycling plant can't see that matte black, and so that contaminates their waste stream. Anything like cling wrap like this, landfill as well. So essentially you could just tuck that whole thing in the landfill. Often it has that absorbent pad at the bottom as well. You can put that in landfill. Some people put it in their pot plants because the proteins and stuff from the juices can be used by the plants. I personally don't particularly want that plastic in my garden, so I throw it in the landfill. Let's talk about soft plastics. Obviously these sorts of things that you can scrunch easily, the plastic bags, they're obviously soft plastics. They go in the pale blue bin over at the Triple R. The other thing that you might be surprised to learn are the foil-based bags. They can also go in that soft plastics bin, as does net bags from onions and things like that. The only thing you need to be aware of is that you need to cut off that metal tag first, and that can go in landfill because that plastic tag, that goes in the soft plastics bag. A common mistake is to put this polystyrene film into soft plastics. Unfortunately, it can't go there, it has to go to landfill. It's that stuff that comes wrapped around electronic goods and furniture and things like that. We have got a solution for the expanded polystyrene. That's the white air-filled polystyrene. There's a special bin for that over in the Triple R. Many people would automatically put this into the yellow recycling bin, but unfortunately it's got grease and oil on the bottom of the bin, as has this fish and chips container. The problem with grease and oil is it affects the recycling process for the cardboard. So when cardboard is recycled, it goes into a huge vat of hot water, the oil rises to the top and it destroys their process. So things like this, greasy, oily dirty cardboard, put it in your compost. Worms love it, and you can just rip it up and put it in your worm farm or compost. We often get these post-it packs put into the yellow recycling bin, but unfortunately they need to go in landfill because they're a combination of bubble wrap and paper, and they can't be separated easily. If it's purely plastic, then it can go into the soft plastics. For those small bits of metal that come off various packaging, I keep these, which you can often pick up out of the Scouts bins after green marquee, or you can just cut open an aluminium can and you can just put all those bits in there because they're too small to be handled by the conveyor belt at the recycling centre. And then you can just squish the top and you've got an aluminium bomb that you just put the whole thing in. We do get quite a few people putting cans that aren't empty, or cans that have had cigarette butts or other disgusting things shoved in them. That makes it really difficult for the people at the Scouts Recycling Centre because they have to handle that manually. So if you could just make sure that they're empty, they don't have to be rinsed, but no nasties in them. I hope you've got something valuable out of this. If you've got your own setup that works really well for your family, maybe you'd like to share it. We can take some photos or videos like this. Or if you've got a problem that you'd like solved, you can contact us at the Triple R and we can try and come up with a solution. Thanks very much.